How's it going, guys? My name's Andy. In this video we are checking out the easiest 5 Christmas songs that we can play with just 3 chords. There is no trickery in this. These are just simple arrangements of very simple Christmas songs. Let me give you a quick demo of each of these songs now, and you'll find a link to the chord sheet at the top of the description, as well as quick links to further on in this video so you can see each individual song tutorial. Let me give you a demo now. Oh Christmas tree, how lovely are your branches. Oh Christmas tree, how lovely are your branches. The first Noel, the angels did say, was to certain poor shepherds in fields as they lay. The holly and the ivy, when they were both full grown, of all the trees that are in the wood, the holly bears the crown. Joy to the world, the Lord is come. Let earth receive her King. Gloria in excelsis Deo. So the 3 chords that we are using to play every one of these songs are the E major, which is the first chord that I teach any beginner, played like this. We have the A major. The A can also be played like this with 3 fingers in a line. And then we have the D major, and those are the only 3 chords that we need. However, if you need any help with those chords, the playing wise, getting the strings ringing out and the chord changes, check out this video here where I show you those chords and the chord changes. But let's get in with our first song tutorial now. So here's how to play Oh Christmas Tree. We'll look at the strumming in 1 second, but let's just check out how the chords happen with the words. You want to be following your chord sheet now. And we begin on the A major chord, which, as I've said before, can be played like this, but it can also be played with 3 in a line. And the easiest way that we can play this is strumming on the word Christmas to begin with, strumming the A chord. Oh Christmas tree, oh Christmas tree. And then change into the E major chord on the word lovely. How lovely are your branches. Back to the A chord on branches. Now this is a very old traditional song, so there are many different verses and different interpretations of the lyrics as well, as it's been translated into different languages. So this is just one example. Wherever lyrics you choose to follow, if you choose to use mine or any others, or maybe the ones that you know, it's that same pattern that we need to get used to. That's the important thing. So if we get used to that over the first 2 verses and play together from the A chord, however you want to play an A, begin in 2, 3. Oh Christmas tree, oh Christmas tree. To the E, how lovely are your branches. Same again. Oh Christmas tree, oh Christmas tree. To the E, how lovely are your branches. Exactly the same whenever the lyrics change. They're green when summer days are bright. They're green when winter snow is white. And it would continue on from there. So it's just the A major and the E major that we would change between to do this song. That's why it's the easiest. With the strumming, this song has a pulse of 3 going through it, similar to a waltz feel. So we definitely want to be strumming, if you want to increase the difficulty, 3 times per chord that is written. And we can either do that just by strumming all the strings that you need to. So for the A chord, that would just be the thinnest 5. We miss string 6. And we would strum 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, E, then back to A. So So 3 times for everything that's written. You can even do that if you don't have a pick. I'm using a pick here, but if you don't have one, just use the outside of your first nail if you're okay to get a couple of scuffs on your nail maybe, and that way we'll get the same sound as a pick really. Can be best to use a pick, but that's a really cool option if you just don't happen to have a pick. And the strumming that I was using in the demo was the same as that, but we just pluck the root note. In the case of the A, this is string 5 on strum 1 of the 3 strum pattern. So pluck the string 5 and then strum, strum, pluck, strum, strum, pluck, strum, strum, all the time. And the trickier thing when we're picking out the single strings is, because we're going to use this pattern for many of the songs that we do in this video, so it is going between string 5 for the A, strum, strum, so plucking the A string, and then plucking string 6 for the E, and that's the E string. That's the trickier bit. And we'll force you to look at this hand a little bit. So let me take you through it really slowly, and then you can have a practice on your own, and then we'll go on to song 2. So on the word Christmas, we would pluck, oh Christmas tree, oh pluck, strum, strum, change to the E, and we pluck string 6, 6, strum, strum, pluck string 5, pluck, strum, strum. And it is that pattern throughout the entire song. Simple, but it can be more difficult if you've never done this before. If you're going to use a pick, that would be like this. 2, 3, pluck, strum, strum, pluck, strum, strum, pluck, strum, strum, pluck, strum, strum. Now we'll learn how to play the First Noel, just using the chords A major, D major, and also the E major. You can play the A in whichever fashion you prefer, like this or like this. And if we just strum once for every chord that is written, it would go like this. The first Noel, the angel did say. Okay? And that would just be strumming each time, and that time I was just strumming with the flesh of my thumb to have a nice soft sound, a quieter sound. At the time when you say each word that is written, with the chord above it. So the first one is the first Noel. Okay? The angel did say. And then on certain we go back to the D. Was to certain poor shepherds in fields as they lay. To really make this one work, we want to again be strumming 3 times per chord. As long as you've got the chord changes down, you can move on to this section. So this time we're going to strum 3 times when you see a chord written. For example, the 1, 2, 3, and again 2, 3 to the D major. 1, 2, 3, back to the A. 1, 2, 3. And as you can see, I'm keeping the thumb over the top just here, just muting that thickest string, which means that if you accidentally strum it, whether you're using a pick or just your thumb, it's not heard and therefore it sounds a lot better. For example, if I play this D, but I strum all 6 strings, but I lift the thumb off, we get this low sound that doesn't work. We don't want that E happening. That can be tricky in the early days, but it's a real pro tip with this sort of sing-along pop style of playing acoustic guitar. From there, like we've done in previous songs, we can pluck just the root note of each chord. So this time, whatever letter is written, that's the string that you would play. So the A string, string 5 for the A, and then we would pluck, strum, strum. So that would turn this into the first Noel, pluck, strum, strum. On the D chord, we change to the D, but then pluck the D string, which is string 4, counting from the thinnest to the thickest, 1, 2, 3, 4, and that is the angel did say, return to A. So does get more complex, but then you can follow this chord sheet all the way through. It's available on the website for free, and that's how you'll be able to play this whole song. Let's give it a playthrough of the first verse in its entirety. So if you're unsure, just strum 3 times per chord, but I'm going to be adding that plucking of each string as we go. In 1, 2. The first Noel, the angel did say, was to certain poor shepherds in fields as they lay, in fields where they lay, D chord, keeping their sheep on a cold winter's night that was so deep. Exactly the same for the chorus. 1, 2. Noel, 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 Noel. Born is the King of Israel. So now we're on to the holly and the ivy. We're going to again begin on the A chord. However you want to play an A is fine. And again, if you can, we're going to go pluck, strum, strum, use that same strumming that we worked on in O Christmas Tree, and there's some better close-ups in O Christmas Tree if you want to check that one out, so that you can get this strumming better. This one, the holly and the ivy, when they are both full grown. Okay, so you can hear that pluck, strum, strum, and that was 4 times just on the A chord. We will do a 5th time, of all the trees that are. Then D, in the woods. This time plucking that D string if we can. And then the E major chord, the holly bears the crown, back to A. You can do that same strumming and picking with a pick if you prefer. Or you can choose to do it how I am, with the thumb, strum, strum, thumb, and then we just strum with the outside of our nail. Or you can just strum 3 times per chord, 3 normal strums per chord that is written however you choose to do strumming. And beginning on the word rising, the rising of the sun. Okay, let's just keep it simple this time. We'll just strum 3 times per chord that is written, or you can just strum on the word that the chord is written above. So we would go 1, 2, the rising of the sun and the running of the deer. A chords, then to the D, 1, 2, E, 1, 2, 3, back to the A, 1, 2, 3, 3 times per chord that is written. One more time through that chorus. If you get this, you can do the same thing for every part of the song, every verse. 1, 2, the rising of the sun and the running of the deer, the playing of the merry and sweet singing in the choir. You may find that it is actually easier to pluck the root note of the chord and then strum, because then it's easier to get a handle of the 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 pattern as we strum. But that is how to play the holly and the ivy. So here's a really simple way to play Joy to the World, just using the chords A major, D major and E major. And we would begin on that A chord. Joy to the world, the Lord is come. Now this is different to some of the other songs that I've taught where we don't have this waltz time strumming. So it's a little bit different, and it's probably best, just because we have so many chords in a longer sequence, that we just strum each time we see that chord and sing along to get the feel and rhythm of the song. So if we start from the A chord, we strum on joy, joy, and then world, to the world. Lord, the Lord is come. And when you're singing to the right rhythm, that ends up being to a nice even pulse. So once you get a handle on the singing and playing at the same time, and you've learnt the lyrics to the song a little bit, it gets so much easier to sing and play at the same time, rather than having to count the beat or do anything more technical than that. So this is a perfect example of that. We change chord then to the D chord. Let earth, to the E, receive her king. Changing from the D with the thumb on top means that we have to lift that thumb off really to be able to play the E and to make sure this thickest string does ring out. So we end up using this different technique. Now making sure that we lower this thumb on the E chord means that we're going to end up building this muscle, which ends up becoming so important to do harder chords on guitar. So important. This is our bar chord muscle, and you may have heard of bar chords. They're a intermediate kind of improver level skill. I don't recommend bar chords for beginners, but if you want to improve your bar chords, make sure you lower this thumb while playing open chords, and then the thumb rises over the top just to mute on the A chord and the D chord. At this point in time, that's the best training that you can do to make sure you're playing your chords correctly and making sure that your fingers are curled right over so all the strings ring out as good as possible. Let's take you through the rest of the verse now, and we just stay on the A chord for a little while. So, strumming to a regular pulse, 3, 4. Let every heart prepare him room. Stay on the A. And heaven and nature sing. To the E. And heaven and nature sing. A chord twice. And heaven and nature sing. This is where it is important to be following the chord sheet, which you'll find on my website, top link in the description, or just at andyguitar.co.uk, where this lesson is embedded. But that is how to play Joy to the World. Gloria in excelsis Deo. So for the majority of this song, we have the pattern of 2 A chords, changing to the E, and back to the A. That's the general pattern of the song. Angels we have heard on high, sweetly singing o'er the plains. Okay? For each of those pulses, we can choose to strum twice to make it a little bit more content, a little bit more strumming. That would sound like: angels we have heard on high, sweetly singing o'er the plains. Fairly straightforward, because what you're really doing is strumming when you sing a certain word, or for each syllable. Angels we have, strum, 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 strum. Okay, fairly straightforward. Exactly the same further through the verses. And the mountains in reply, echoing their joyous strains. Okay? And what we did to make it a little bit more interesting is on the first pulse, on the first strum, we just pluck the same letter string as the letter of the chord. So A string for the A chord, which would be string 5, counting from the thinnest to the thickest, string 5, and then strum. And just alternate that for every chord. Pluck, strum, pluck, strum. That was plucking string 5, plucking the A string. For the E chord, we need to pluck the E string, which is string 6, the thickest one. Pluck, strum, and then pluck A and strum. So we have this pattern. pluck, strum, E and A. And that takes us through every verse in Angels We Have Heard on High. Then we'll go to the chorus. We have a pattern typically of twice for each chord, going from the A to the D, A and E, following the chord sheet that's available at andyguitar.co.uk, and you'll be able to know what chord's coming up before I even say it. You'll be able to follow your chord sheet in your own time. But as a simple playthrough, we just strum. If we were strumming each time a chord is written, we just strum twice for each chord. Glory. If you need to work on this general kind of principle, there are many similar songs at level 2 of my beginner's course. Loads of songs there that do a very similar skill to this that you can play and sing along to. But if we want to make it a little bit more difficult, we can go for the A chord and pluck, strum, pluck, D. And then it's just A and E major again one final time. In excelsis Deo. And the second time it's just a little bit different. It would finish on the A. In excelsis Deo. And we can hear that resolve when we finish on the A, which is the idea of being in a key. We're in the key of A major here. So just a little playthrough of the chorus, then we can play through the whole thing together and show you exactly how to go through this song. So from the chorus, from the A chord, and I'm going to be going pluck, strum, but you could just do a full strum if you prefer. Let's get in now. From the A chord, in 1, 2, 3, 4. Glory, change to D, 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 A, and to an E major. Excelsis Deo, glory. In excelsis, back to the A. That's the only difference. So thank you so much for watching this. Make sure you get in those chord sheets on the website. The link is in the description in this video, or you can find all my Christmas songs on the website at andyguitar.co.uk. Just search songs, genre and Christmas and you will find them. And thank you very much for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already, and thank you so much for the support. I will see you in another video.